authors write for fun, others to make money. But I am writing to handle the reality. This is because I have Asperger syndrome, which is an autism spectrum disorder that is characterized by significant difficulties in social interaction, alongside with restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior and interest. This affects my experience of my surroundings differently. But I am not without feelings, as people might think. I just have a different way of interpreting and expressing them. And my fantasy trilogy, The Powerful Tiaras, also shows, just in real life, the abuse of power. How prejudice and bigotry can derail things, ruin relationships, and create conflicts, but also that there may be different ways to experience the environment, such as the people of the forest who don't know about insanity and therefore sees retarded persons as holy and spiritual. The Kobarashians are peaceful people who have total equality between the sexes and says, you can only borrow land, never own it, because you can't own the air you breathe. Or the stone giant Tahai, who simply says, typically humans who cannot feel which direction is north. In part 1 of The Powerful Tiaras, Lord Nikephoros is searching after the powerful tiaras that gives invulnerability, strength, and healing, while his sister, Lady Finestra, is looking for the key of wisdom. On the way, they meet friends and foes, different people and strange creatures. And in part 3, they will meet again, but then Nikephoros will be much, much different. It's a classic quest theme that is common in fantasy novels, like the Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, but with the difference that here is no watertight walls between good and evil, just like in real life. I also like to read and write about culture clashes, such that in part 2, where Nanskiba Amal, the spiritual leader of the Kobarashi people, calmly offers linden tea, though Captain Targan is worried about Nikephoros, who is fighting against of angry stone giants. But Amal points out that there is no reason to be unnecessarily overexcited about something you can't do something about. And a culture clash is something I easily can run into myself as an Aspie, because one with Asperger syndrome is like a Macintosh computer in a PC environment. Yes. And so it's with me. Sometimes I run into culture clashes because people don't understand me. And why? Because I can give you an example. The role of film in Telch. I was in Telch in the Czech Republic, was in the square there and took pictures of beautiful buildings. And then the roll of film ran out in my camera. Oops, I thought I have a spare roll in my pocket. Oh, where is my jacket? Oh, the jacket. It's in the bus. The roll of film is in my jacket in the bus. Where is the bus? Ah, there. No, it's locked. And where is the driver? Oh, he's eating his lunch. And where? In some restaurant here, or there, or, oh, where is the driver? Where can I find the driver so he can lock up the bus, and so I can go in and get my jacket, because in the jacket there is my roll of film. And then my guide says, calm down, Sandra, calm down. You stand here in the square. Yes, I do. Do you see around here? Do you see various shops here? Yes, I see souvenir shops and tobacco shops. And do you see what is written on the advertisement? Do you see there's written Kodak, there's written Agfa, and there's written Fuji. What do you think you can buy in those shops? A roll of film. But this is a clear example, because I have never encountered this situation before. I didn't know this. I go to TEDx not to look at advertisement. I look at beautiful buildings. So I didn't see the signs with Kodak and Agfa and Fuji. It was not in my interest to see them. But when the guide pointed out, and then, aha. In this case, I have been as naive like the young girl Titiona, who has been imprisoned all her life. She's 12 years old. And she's been imprisoned in Lord Harald's palace in part 1 of my fantasy novel. And therefore, when Fenestra got her free, she asks Fenestra about everything common and obvious looking. In part 2 of The Powerful Tiaras is a long sequence where the 13-year-old boy Sharzuk is walking a long, long way in a dark mountain palace with no windows, but a lot of stairs and corridors and hallways leading from one giant empty hall to another. And Sharzuk is wondering, oh, where is finally the end of this? I also wondered that because when my dear mother got a brain tumor in 2001, something that I and she were not aware of until 2 weeks before her death in March the 1st in 2009. This brain tumor, which was this big in the right side of her brain, changed slowly her personality in much the same way as Lord Nikephoros became evil and corrupted by wearing the powerful tiaras. And this made her, and him too, moody and unpredictable, which frightened me to the core. One of my favorite characters in my trilogy is the Kobarashian priest Katoro, cuddling furtively with a soft satin ball. I have, just like Katoro, gone around with cuddly balls like these. And those are made of silk scarves, which I have doing this, and they have gone inside in itself and became a ball. The Matebian boy Baryahim have a piglet, Bim Bim, in part 3 of my novel, that stands for safety. But it's abruptly taken from him and thrown away. And poor Baryahim becomes bitter and suspicious of everyone, except for those who once helped him. This may have happened to me if anyone would have got the crazy idea to throw away all my cuddly balls at once, without warning. It would be a major catastrophe for me. But honestly, tell me, aren't cuddly balls and pets much better than booze and cigarettes? Also, the Moldalier swamp appears in my trilogy, which is growing with increasing rate and threat to engulf and destroy the whole world artisania. The Moldalier swamp is a symbol for the climate changes which threatens our world in real life, and that the duty of the mighty men is to do something to stop it. The plot is as complex as in the Game of Thrones, but that's in the reality too. It may also happen that the readers think that my fantasy novels contain too many details of architectures and costumes and monsters, such as the flying mumpling. Clench your fist and look at the little finger side. There is the mumpling. Do you see it? Your left fist is better. It gave me inspiration to the mumpling. Because I have Asperger syndrome, I can see small details, which is excellent in my work as a nautical chart corrector. It's a job that fits an Aspie like a glove, like me, because it requires skill for small, minuscule details, meticulous precision, and the patience of an angel. Something that also has been required for my fantasy trilogy, which took me 13 years to complete. My brother once told me that I should try something simpler than writing a fantasy novel, to become perhaps a brain surgeon or a nuclear physicist. Previously, I couldn't publicly talk about that I have Asperger syndrome, because then I haven't got a steady job. But now I can freely say that I am an Aspie and have a strong interest in ancient and medieval art and architecture, and that it may be possible that I may also be the only one with Asperger syndrome who has written a fantasy trilogy. However, what has influenced me and given me inspiration are all the experiences I have had, all movies and TV shows I've seen, all the books I read, all the museums I visited, and all the friends and foes I've met. I take small details of everything I see, hear, feel, and smell, and put them together in a new way so that they form a story. Some pieces are obvious, like the time machine or the Stargate taken from the films or movies with the same name. But others are less apparent, like the form of Egyptian hieroglyphs, which gave me inspiration to draw nice hats and collars for these two Chicamarian merchants. Or an image of a dinner in the 17th century in a school history book, which can inspire me to write and draw the magnificent equinox banquet of the Sun Emperor of Matebia. I am not good at being a public person. My only aim is that my fantasy world is a sort of mirror of my experiences in real life, with love and hate happiness and sorrow, confusion and enlightenment. Thanks for me.